Hi, everyone. I'm Alice Ahmet. I'm a volunteer at the Science Museum of Minnesota, currently in Collector's Corner, and you can see it right behind me. I was a stay-at-home mom. I'm from that generation of women. And when I got done with things like the church volunteering, the Cub Scouts and the Girl Scouts, I was looking for something for myself. And I happened to see an ad in the Sunday paper of volunteer opportunities. It was about that big, but Science Museum of Minnesota jumped out at me. So I called on Monday morning and asked about what they were looking for. And I said I was interested in anthropology. And the reply was, great, we're starting training tomorrow morning. Be here at 9 o'clock. I've been here ever since. I started out when we had a total of 12 volunteers. And at that time, we gave tours through the anthropology hall or others through the paleontology hall, which were very small. When we moved across the street on Wabasha, I ended up working in the harvest area. And over the years, some of the volunteers were given contracts to do the training for the area. So I became a trainer for the harvest area. And I could also fill in on the hunters and gatherers area because I had enough background that I had learned here at the Science Museum. Then when it came time to do some of the special exhibits we had, I was fortunate enough to volunteer on the wolf exhibit, which is now on permanent display up in Ely at the Wolf Center. And as a result of working on that, I was offered a contract to do the research for the background and training of the volunteers for that exhibit. And as a result, I bought my first computer from the proceeds that I earned on that. Then about that time, it was time to start working on the building we're in now. My background is in medical technology, and so as a volunteer, I worked on developing the cell lab, which was the first of its kind in the United States. About 6 months before we opened, they asked me if I would be willing to do the training for the Human Body Gallery. I had been sort of an editor for Susan, who developed the cell lab. So I agreed to do the training for Human Body Gallery, and I asked Susan to be my editor. It was kind of a cooperative effort between the two of us for both the cell lab and human body. One thing I like about working here or volunteering here at the Science Museum is that you can talk with students, interact with them, ask them questions. And being here in Collector's Corner, it's especially fun to find the adult who says, I was a trader too, with Tony the trader back in the old museum, and as were my own children. So it's kind of coming full circle and seeing people enthused and bringing their young kids and encouraging them to take part in some of the things they did. It's a never-ending learning experience. I have been kidded in the past that I have learned enough here to have an anthropology degree, even though I'd never taken a course in anthropology. And now I'm learning about geology and shells. So I just continue to learn, and I think that as a volunteer, you benefit more than what you give to the visitors, because if you have talked with a person and they leave with one new bit of information, you're a success. You can find me on level 5 of the Science Museum of Minnesota, and also check out smm.org for more discoveries.